Am I going live right now? Oh, I was not paying attention. 14 seconds in, I am indeed live. Well, let me just check the vital signs real quick and we'll get right to it. I'm here today to talk about a game that I've recently picked up, Star Trek Resurgence. And I was like in love from like day one. Like, I mean, it was like my friend was playing this game and I was like, this looks like a cool game. And well, it's like a game in story mode. It's sort of like an interactive movie. And for anybody who has ever played um the Star Trek Borg game from like, I don't know, late 90s, early 2000s, it was a game that was a straight up live action full motion video interactive movie with John Delancey in it. And you basically play a cadet who gets to body swap with your own father who died during the Battle of Wolf 359, and you got to go through various puzzles and stuff like that. It was a pretty good game. You could watch the entire thing on YouTube. Someone has uploaded it. Well, just now I did stream a recording of Star Trek Resurgence, a couple of them actually, because I recorded it the other day and had some issues. Basically, my audio is way out of sync, and I don't even know what this is. Okay, this is my video about something I have to still comment on. Basically, a flat Earth post. I gotta revisit that. Basically, some flat Earth was all like, "This is Venus, and it ain't Venus." Basically, they zoomed in on Venus with a camera, didn't adjust the focus in that video, and claimed that it was just some lights. But really, they didn't make any effort to manually focus it. So anyway, I went into the weeds on that. I'm going to revisit that tomorrow. I had a lot of technical issues today. Resolved them, I believe. I kind of like, I kind of like, well, I wrote these chats like 8 minutes ago, and now they're responding to me. I might join this StreamYard group in a little while, but I wanted to get this banged out. So anyway, getting back on topic here. Sorry about that. Where was I? So yeah, Star Trek Resurgence. Oh man, what a game! What a game! Let's briefly talk about it. And unfortunately, I'm like watching a YouTube video in the background while doing this, which is just great. Okay, now it's my Mars video. I'm sorry. This is my Star Trek video, I guess, right? I recorded the game multiple times today, so I played it on my Steam Deck out of convenience. And I ran OBS on my desktop to get like really good recording quality. I cranked up the recording bit rates a lot because I was really worried that it wasn't gonna like be as good as I wanted it to be. So we're gonna explore this real quick. So we're gonna just briefly visit this, and this is the intro of the game. And basically, when I saw my friend Mike playing it on his channel, I got like a real Star Trek vibe from it. Like, I mean, it's not perfect, but I mean, with the expectations that have been set low since like after 2005 or from 2009, I'll take what I can get. And I'm going to mute this background so I can keep this on. the musical score makes a genuine effort to sound like Star Trek music. Oh, and because we did this using... I have to pick my... There we go. That should be cleaner audio. So I originally tried recording this by using a desktop screen recording. So right now we're looking at my, desktop. But when I play the game via Steam Remote Play on my Steam Deck, so I can play it on my TV, I have to do it, like basically, it's playing the game on the PC, but it's actually sending the video signal to my Steam Deck and then to my TV. Then I use the gamepad on my Steam Deck and it sends the controllers back to my PC. So I thought it would be better to record what was happening on this screen. Turns out Steam Remote Play compensates for like the audio delay difference and actually delays it. Now also it should be noted, when I did this initial play, I put in a tweak. I saw like a sort of like a third-party update that enables these cutscenes to run at 60 frames a second, because most of these cutscenes would otherwise be capped at 30. And it's probably better to keep it as it was because it would conserve resources better. The game would run more efficiently. And how do I phrase it? It would look more natural. Like if you're looking at, like, to compare this to Deep Space Nine, Voyager, those were done at 30 frames a second. And so having that 60 frames might sort of look artificial. Unfortunately, I disabled my frame rate overlay counter and I didn't figure out how to re-enable it yet. I think I know how to, I just didn't really get it. But anyway, I think the game, basically I enabled it. Game needed to be restarted. Also, I'm not reading the chat right now. I should mention that. So I apologize. I mean, I'm going to take a quick look. Okay, good. Nobody's in the chat. Good. So let's get right to my point here. Really, I'm just testing this. I had some serious network issues today. I had some really insane network issues, and they reached a fever pitch last night, thereby necessitating that I fix it. And I might do a video on crimping network cable tomorrow. I don't really want to mess with that right now. It's not difficult. Just I'm not in the mood to touch it. But anyway, yeah, I mean, the intro of this game, like, I mean, it looks like Star Trek. All of the ships look like Star Trek ships. They threw in all of the right member berries in terms of ships. You got Excelsior class right there. Oh, I can't read the name. Oh, yeah, I can't read the name. But, this musical score, obviously it's not Star Trek music, but it tries to make an effort here. Except for this part here. The music sounds very, like, homely. But it's not unpleasant. It's just very, like... listen for yourself. And this guy's sitting in the shuttlecraft for some reason. By the way, this shuttlecraft is interesting because it's got large windows on either side. It's obviously a transport shuttle, but it is unique in a few ways. The hatch on the back of it is unique. The windows being large are unique. The fact that no pilots exited the craft, and yet it got them to the destination. I mean, this is a drone shuttlecraft apparently. You can see the shuttle sticking out of the dock right there. So instead of landing in a shuttle bay, apparently we docked. But anyway, we'll skip through it a little bit. I'm just pretty happy with the recording quality. Despite doing it via the Steam Deck, once in a while the frame rate would dip like chronically bad, and fixing the network cable and doing some other adjustments helped. But when it happens, I've learned I can just unplug the network cable and plug it back in, and that seems to make the Steam Deck reset the connection at least. Because a Steam Deck will run at a lower frame rate. The Steam Deck will run at what feels like 15 frames a second. It'll be a consistent 15 frames a second. Your lag, your latency will be like non-existent. So all of your input and out, your input, there won't be any input lag. But from what I can figure, the Steam Deck, when it has a choppy network connection, will sacrifice that frame rate before it sacrifices your input, for example, which is probably preferable. And it's not even terrible if you just want to play a game, you're not obsessed with quality, but, if you went through all of the effort to run it on remote play, you probably want to get better quality than what you would get by running the game on your device. But anyway, you got the redhead lady here. You got this Asian chill lady. Her name is Ed Salah. You got Carter Diaz. He's very enthusiastic. This captain, he's he seems all right, but he also seems like he pushed the ship's engines too hard and created an incident, and got lucky that people were able to cover it up, sort of keep it quiet for him. But he sort of screwed up big time, lost lives, and now he's got this myopic focus on achieving a scientific accomplishment while also because it slipped from his grasp, while also kind of being loose with the lives of his crew. So it's like, this is not a safe combination here, and it's a little worrisome. So you get this whole, routine. Now you got this bridge here. And the view screen, now apparently this is a window view screen, which is like one of the negative points, right? But I'm willing to tolerate it. I'm willing to tolerate the windowed view screen if it's used to good effect. And, I think it's used to pretty good effect. It's just like, at the end of the day, we can argue that a view screen or a giant window on the bridge of a starship is a weak point. But frankly, having the bridge of a starship at the top is also a weak point. And you would only do this if your technology is so good that you knew you can ensure safety, or if you had an arrogance, a hubris, I believe that your technology was so good that nothing could break through the bridge module. So, I don't think it's at that point, if you're cool with having a bridge on top of your ship, as opposed to buried into the hull like the CIC on an aircraft carrier, then it should be fine having a big old view screen window. But yeah, you got this these seats here, these consoles that evoke the TNG style right here. And it's a long game. I don't plan on replaying the whole game, but I will re-record the beginning because I feel like I can get better camera angles. And I also want to see if I can get better color by capturing the video on my computer. But I am not sitting in this chair. Look at this backrest. I'm not sitting in this backrest for 18 hours to play this whole video interactive movie. I mean, a movie you sit on a couch to do. This game is good when you're sitting on a couch or laying down in a bed. And maybe in a really comfortable gaming chair. But, I'm not gonna... Oh, no. Streaming it, maybe. But I decided to record it in, as good quality as I can capture. I also will have to edit this heavily because we have, a lot of me walking around. I mean, if you let me walk around the bridge of a starship, I will walk around every corner. In fact, I didn't actually check the front right corner of the bridge, so I will have to replay that. But I walk up to every console in this part. I check everything out. There's a Bajoran guy. He's got one of those Bajoran earrings. I look at the engineering, control station. I try to read things. I count the decks at one point. I think there's 11 decks on here. She goes, there's so many decks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's 10 decks. 10 decks, not so many. It's just 10. And that's cool, but I like to be like, you know, accurate, kind of. Communications. Environmental is actually right on top of communications. These doors have like this wood trim on them, like, it's just weird. Like, I tried going, like, this is why I gotta re-record this part. I tried cutting past the holographic dais in order to reach her chair, and it was impossible to squeeze through. But what I like about this is how these seats are totally like TNG style. I mean, look at that. Like, look at that seat. That is like Riker's chair right there. You got that like 1980s upholstery, leather upholstery thing going on. And same thing with the captain's chair. Like, that is basically Picard's seat. Yeah, what up, what up? Top of the evening. So I might just pop into this other stream in a moment just because I really want to share astrophotography and just kind of like show people real. Hey, what up, Lemon Pie and Sour Spitz? I'm sorry I didn't really give any attention to the chat. I don't have my screen overlay up today, but I do want to acknowledge both of you being present here. And wait, where's my video? Whoops, sorry about that. Where are my managers? I'm gonna move the YouTube window up a notch. There we go. It's on my top monitor. So this game like has this like weird hyper-realistic look when you're walking onto the hull of the ship. Cuckold Lunch Spatials. I don't know if that's what it said, but I'll take it. They make the magnetic boots look difficult. Applebee's Cuckold Lunch Special. Oh. Good in the neighborhood, I think. I mean, they're wearing the right space suits. Wait, am I on the right monitor? Yeah. These guys are wearing the correct space suits. Look at that. I don't know, I mean, like, he comes over as an asshole, but it's kind of funny. He asks permission to be candid, and she's like, oh, I don't see why we should stop now. As you make decisions, you get these little, like, notes that tell you, like, whether these people like you or, you know, if they criticize you. Oh, that's the thing I forgot to show. So, at some point in the game, the captain introduces you to, like, the bridge. At some point, you go down the elevator with the Bolian. That musical score really tries. I admire the effort put into this game, I really do. And you know, the ship, like, I can see where some people might get that, like, Star Trek Discovery or New Trek vibe from it, but it looks sufficiently like a traditional Star Trek ship. And the position of the warp nacelles is completely respectful of what, you know, the original designers of the Enterprise would have wanted, insofar as, you know, you got them far away from the rest of the hull. You know, those warp nacelles are not near the hull. And you're not going to cook anybody on that ship with those warp engines. Also, warp nacelles generally tend to be parallel to each other. that's just kind of like a thing about how warp fields work. So you can see like the front of the warp nacelle, they're literally parallel to each other. There's nothing in between them. So it's a very traditionally designed ship. And if we skip through, we should be able to get to the part where we get introduced to the captain. Then the captain's going to be like talking about how orders must be followed. Also, the way I walked into the bridge here was awkward. I totally have to re-record this. Maybe. Maybe not. I did bump up the... I don't want to interrupt this. I did bump up the graphics halfway through the game. He's Bajoran. Of course he can fly a ship. He's a Bajoran. They had to run away from Cardassians. This lady. Okay, I actually really want to make fun of this. Kind of. So, look. First time our protagonist is being introduced to everybody on the bridge of the Resolute in Star Trek Resurgence. And I'm enjoying this game tremendously. I really am. Like, I mean, like, I'm sure people could critique it from, like, a storytelling or Star Trek story point of view. But overall, I'm quite satisfied. But I'm quite amused by this character here. Oh, this is awkward. Jeez, this girl just went full fangirl mode right here on Commander Rydek. Okay, that's what's happening right here. And like, if you really want, you take your time pressing the button to respond, and it really draws out that awkward silence and makes it more impactful, I guess. See, she's gonna keep freaking going. She's gonna keep going. She's like, oh yes, that's an inspiration, and you know, all this shit, and then she's gonna... Like, she's like, oh, you were all beaten down by the Cardassians, and you're such an inspiration. But it's alright, I'm just having fun with that. In fact, well, that girl is the reason why I'm recording this, because we're going to skip to the end right here. Because basically, the reason I stopped playing this game like a half hour ago, after playing for like, I don't know, 3 hours, is because of that character. I felt terrible for her. I felt terrible. Okay, so basically, she's all like, she gets all happy. She's all happy because we beamed a bunch of people. We beamed one group of people through ionic interference. So I'm just being realistic. Don't celebrate yet. I mean, you could lose the rest of those people. What were my other choices to make? I was going to be good work. I could say good work, but no, I want to be honest. Don't celebrate yet. Why would I, you know, be like, of course we did. Good work. No, it is an ion storm, and it's making this situation really challenging. And frankly, I kind of have some spoilers ahead of this part, so I know 2 characters don't get to beam aboard. And I'm just like, you know, like, don't celebrate yet, because we're not going to succeed in beaming those last 3 or 2 of 3 people aboard. And she's like, well, like, she's been let down. And whenever you let somebody down, or whenever somebody's sort of neutral, you get this little gray card in the corner of the screen. So it'll turn red if, like, you really pissed them off, I guess, and it turns green if, like, you did something good, if you got their approval. So if the captain is against mutiny and you're like, I'll keep them in line, the captain will, you'll see the captain's face and it'll turn green. Or, you know, if you violate an order, it'll turn red. So, you know, you just put down the security officer because you were all like, don't celebrate yet. We don't know if we're going to save all these people. Or aliens. I mean, look, you got, like, how many pattern enhancers here? You got, like, 1, 2, 3. I'm not going to count them all, but you got a lot of, you got, like, 6 pattern enhancers at least. I think it's 6. Is that, like, yeah, anyway. No, they're not wearing coof masks. The ship has toxic air. Although, they really should wear eye protection if they're going to be on a toxic ship. Alright, so I'm not going to ruin that. We're going to skip ahead a little bit. So you have to basically get in position in order to, you know, have, you know, for beaming. The shuttle is relaying the transporter signal. So we're flying to the waypoint. Okay, so she's like manually fixing the power, but of course she's now holding on to like some kind of EPS conduit. This is super dangerous. She should not be doing that. I mean, put on some gloves. So here's the part where, like, I had to stop playing at this point. Okay, I'm going to play a little more of the video, but basically I have a choice. Save the girl, or, you know, security chief, or let the Vulcan complete the transport. The admiral of the alien fleet is being beamed aboard with, like, the remainder of the crew, basically, right? And if I save her, I'm worried that I'm not going to be able to beam those people aboard. So I'm like, let's complete the transport. I mean, she seems to be fine. I mean, she's screaming, but, you know, so people scream when they're getting electrocuted, right? Oh, well. Ah, shit. I hit the wrong button. We're going to... Oh, I see what I did. Pardon me. I'm sorry about that. Okay, good. We'll be there. We'll be there. I can skip back. Okay, good. So I'm given a choice. Save the girl. Complete transport. Then she starts flaming. And it gets really ugly. And I'm like, oh my god, what have I done? What have I done? Maybe I should have saved the girl while I had a chance. I don't know, man. Like, and it's like one thing to be like, you know what, one person versus like 12 lives and an alien admiral. But what ends up happening here is, I mean, God, I think she's blind now. Oh yeah, and my microphone was on. I'm like in my bed playing this game, and apparently, like, I just heard my... Oh my god, that's terrible. What the hell type of laugh? Okay. I'd like to think that my laughter at that moment was a little bit altered because the microphone is like over here and my, you know, couch bed or whatever is over there. But man, oh. So at this point I was like, I can't, I gotta go back because, like, you know, like I mentioned before, you get these little cards in the top left corner that turn red, green, or blue, depending on if you do good or bad by them. And you're not required to satisfy every person on the crew. You gotta kind of balance it out, right? But ideally, you want to maybe make Spock happy. You want to make your key crew members happy. The Vulcan, he was a little upset that, like, I violated direct order, but screw him. Like, I was right, you know? But I get where he's coming from, but it's, like, really doesn't matter if he doesn't like me, you know? Whereas if someone on the bridge doesn't like me, or Spock doesn't like me, that's a little more important. Now, she's on the bridge, but she's not going to be easy to please in general. And frankly, burning her, or letting her get burned by the EPS manifold, or whatever the heck she was playing with when she got burned in the face, is not going to win her over, right? So at that point, I was just like, I paused it twice, like, what do I do? And I just went back to the main screen. Now, that is one good thing and one issue with this game. You press like that, you pause and you press one button, you press X while you're paused, and it goes straight back to the main menu. So if you accidentally do it, you could be really pissed off if you lose your progress to a point. On the other hand, it's also convenient because if you make a bad decision, at least you know, like, you can at least reverse that decision as long as you're willing to go to the last save point, which could be a minute ago or 20 minutes ago or maybe like 10 minutes ago. So you can go back pretty far sometimes if you're just about to get to the next save point and you know, go back to the home screen, you could lose a significant amount of progress. So that's where I left off with this game. And so I'll do the editing tomorrow. I was going to do it today, but it's late. I want to wind it down and maybe join that stream, even though it's really awfully late at this point. When we had clear skies last week before the forest fire disrupted shit, I got this picture of the Veil Nebula, and I'm hoping it's still going to be in season and at a good angle when the weather clears up again. Because these are the first images I've ever captured in O3, ionized oxygen. And you can usually, like with these image viewers, you can sort of like make these adjustments. I switched to the Subaru image processor because it seems pretty robust compared to other image viewers I've used. It seems to have like a pretty decent auto adjust. As you can see, like it auto adjusted to this nebula. And you can like crank things up and down to sort of reveal more or less. Oh, that's weird. Oh, I know what happened there. So a lot of astro imaging utilities will only process the part of the screen you can see sometimes in order to, like, you know, basically give you better performance or, you know, save time. There we go. Now let's see if this other stream is still bumping right now because I really, really want to join it. So I'm going to be popping in on the live hangout on the Angry Canadian, is it? No, Sci-Fi Nation. I'm sorry, Angry Canadian's another guy. He's cool. Angry Canadian's a really cool dude. And I do recommend Angry Canadian's content. I should really put it on blast, shout him out. They're not talking about astrophotography. These guys were commenting on astrophotography before, and they were saying a lot of it was fake, and some of it might have been like really fake or overly processed astro images. So I can understand, but you know, if someone's saying like space is fake or some shit like that, I'll come down on it pretty quick. But some of this astrophotography was really over the top. Now, in some cases, it could be perfectly real. Long exposure, good timing. But even with something like this, even if you have like a really dark sky, you are going to take a picture of the sky, or, you know, you can have the camera in the same position. But the settings that allow the camera to capture the sky are not going to allow you to capture the ground effectively. And the settings that allow you to capture the ground effectively won't necessarily allow you to capture the sky. So sometimes you'll do them separately and you'll combine them in Photoshop. This could have been done in one shot. I don't really know. This one kind of looked like questionable. Like you have like a regular portrait lens and then you have a wide angle lens covering the sky. So I had some doubts here. But I don't really know. Like I didn't actually read the website. In fact, yeah, did they put a link up there? Because I can't really fairly judge it, but I don't think it's AI art. I don't think it's AI art at all. I just think that, you know, it's somewhat heavily processed. You might be combining two unrelated images together, but that's not AI. That's Photoshop at best. Now they're talking about fiat currency, apparently. All right. That's cool. I can get into that, but I'm not gonna. Um, talking about Nixon now. Window, what? Said what? Okay. But I'm really glad. It looks like I fixed my network issues because I was having some real network issues. Product of supernova. Sorry. Well, they lug a ton of gold in a duffel. It's not good. So let's see what else we have here. We're gonna do a little investigation here because I haven't really even attempted to process these images. I did glance at them. It is actually the first time I've used the Subaru image utility, and I like it. I think right now it's opening everything up in one window. So I don't know how you can switch between, like, there we go, control tab. So that's not bad. This image is completely out of focus. Pressing control W closes one tab. All right, I think I'm really glad I found the Subaru image utility. Yeah, these are out of focus. You can definitely see, like, if I zoom in, well, I don't have to zoom in, but you can just see these stars at, like, look almost transparent. They're out of focus. So sometimes that's like if you go to bed and you let the telescope kind of just blast pictures of shit while you're sleeping. That's what would happen. Okay, this was one I did attempt to process using a different utility. So this one might be out of focus, but we do see some of the nebulosity there. Auto adjust did what it did already. This program seems to do a pretty good job of attempting to auto adjust. But as you can see, like, there's so many ways you can go about, like, trying to get details to shine through. Like, sometimes you got to really crank it up, and the way you stack the images together using another utility, you might tolerate more graininess in order to get it to reveal more stuff. You might, you do, there's a lot of things you can do now. I think, like I said, never used it before. Don't know, whoops, did I just reset it? No. I don't know how to zoom into 100%. Like, I want to make sure I'm not, like, zoom. Oh, I see, that's interesting. Okay, that's 100% zoom. Same thing, right? We just click on that, and you see we got like a nebula there. So this is some of the stuff that is partially processed that we capture in situ, and not all of it's perfect, right? You know, you're gonna have different abnormalities that occur. Contour, what is that? There's some buttons here I've never done before. Astrometry. I bet you, okay, astrometry is measuring centroid. Okay, well, that's kind of cool. You could literally print out or put a comma separated value spreadsheet out. Okay. Yeah, I'm just kind of guessing my way around this here. I don't actually know what I'm doing here. Okay, so that's interesting. So that graph represents, that line is intersecting a bright star. So if we do this, you got a line representing a bright star. If I go like across these two stars, boom, now we got like bright star that's somewhat narrow and an even less bright star that kind of caught on the edge. So, I mean, I'm winging this. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of playing with this. let's see what else we have here. We do have the moon during daytime and dusk. But let's see here. M101. Some of these. Wait, someone said my name. Someone said my name on the channel. Okay, so this is like, you can see a little line. It's probably very hard to see, but there's a little diagonal line going through that. And that's basically what happens when you have a satellite. And if, like, let's say I was really desperate to get rid of that, there are ways to cope to deal with that. So anyway, I could see a hint of a spiral galaxy here. And we're going to see if we can kind of bring that out, like, via sheer brute force. And I'm pretty sure we can't, but we're going to try. Yeah, it's like I can almost see it. Some galaxies are just extra challenging. What's funny is that this galaxy is... It's not humongous, but it takes up enough frame that if I can get the light, if I can get enough photons to gather this spiral shape, it would be big enough. Like, I can live with it, you know? Let's see if we did any better on these images. Yeah, that one didn't look like it was working out. Now, with the moon, we usually don't capture pictures. We usually do sequences of still images combined. Like, this is an 8 gig sequence of, like, basically raw images. And we would patch it into a different program in order to manipulate it. But essentially, I don't even think I can zoom in on it. Whoa. I don't know what just happened. I just double clicked on it and it opened it up twice. That was weird. Okay. But, I mean, it's a pretty... Whoa, what the heck? Okay, let's try that again. My mouse pointer jumped. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is just like super large this without actually doing it correctly. And this is where I miss my old telescope. My reflecting telescope could do this, but it can get real close. And getting close to like this corner, you didn't get the entire moon into one frame. But when you zoomed in, when you got like the amount of light gathering power that my other telescope had, when, you know, getting a close up or a narrow field of view of some area like this corner here looked, in my opinion, quite spectacular. You got like so much texture, so much detail. Now you can also like do this. So interestingly, usually it's good to copy these images off of the network, because right now I don't think this entire video sequence is even loaded. Like you can see, it sort of hiccups when I try to rewind it a lot, but essentially you can see how like from this part of the video to say the end here, you're going to see that it's moving horizontally, and the telescope is supposed to compensate as the Earth rotates, but you're going to have some drift. And luckily in this case, that's okay, because these are short excuse me. These are short exposures, so we don't have to worry about the moon drifting. But you can see the moon got darker, and the reason the moon got darker is because it's actually literally passing behind a tree at this point in the evening. So at that point, there wasn't really any sense in continuing I'm too tired to really mess around with this anymore. But yeah, hence, like I said, the editing that I wanted to do, I saved that for tomorrow. I did basically make a video about the wildfire smoke and how it impacted New York. And basically, in short, it barely impacted. Like, yeah, you got those dramatic pictures of the sky getting like really red. I can only speak for like Tuesday. Someone mentioned it on Tuesday morning at work, and I didn't go outside that day. I didn't even know it was going on. Then when I left work that night at 8 p.m., 7:30, it was like, it was like, it smelled like smoke. It looked a little like, it looked a little bit orange outside. It smelled like a campfire, which is kind of nice actually. The only thing is it's a little irritating on the nasal passages, but not terrible. Like if I was asthmatic, that would be bad. Then I'd be like, okay, people with asthma might want to stay inside and air condition. But then a day later, it was pretty much cleared up. It wasn't really that bad at all. In fact, it wasn't. No, it was barely even like noticeable. Like sure, if you look up at the sky, it's like okay, it's a little hazy out because when you have particulate matter in the air, it's gonna create clouds. Oh man, I'm so tired. But just having like something blocking the sun and creating, a combination of rain clouds, potentially dirty rain clouds, doesn't mean you can't breathe the air, And I saw a lot of people outside, or a few people outside wearing masks. And if that's what they want to do, cool. But I don't think it was really necessary. It's just like, you're not living next to the fire. You're not living in Canada. I got a case of the yawns right here. So yeah, anyway, image processing definitely won't do that tomorrow, but at least we have some images here we can work with. Whoops, I almost forgot. I want to keep the Veil Nebula. Actually, I want to keep both these open in case, but that about covers everything. I mean, like I said, I just wanted to share my enjoyment of that really great Star Trek game. And I don't think I'm going to join this stream anymore, like this stream. It's way too late. Indeed. But yeah, if nothing else, I'm just glad my internet's working correctly right now because I'll tell you, that was like a pain in the butt, man. Or women, people watching. And we'll do a video on crimping network cable tomorrow. We'll do a video on what this has to do with what this lens and this lens have to do with debunking flat earth lies. Because at this point, some of these people are just straight lying. And those who aren't lying are sorely disinformed. And for some reason, they seem really hung up on it. Like, it's like, it's not that big of a deal either way, I guess. I guess it doesn't affect everyone's daily life if the earth is round or not round, or if people believe it's round or not round. But, I mean, some people have some interesting angles, and it's like, some people think that the earth being round and space being vast is somehow spitting. Basically, people who think that space being vast and earth being round somehow spits in the face of the concept of God. And it's like, well, if God is almighty, then yeah, God can be everywhere in a universe that's infinitely large. So, I mean, I don't know why that would invalidate people's religious belief. Now, just because a lot of people who are into astronomy and stuff like that don't believe in God, or a lot of people literally are just not religious. Some people maybe believe in God but aren't religious. Because it's funny, like, you get those folks who are so hardcore, like you get someone who's just like they go to church, but they don't get all like hallelujah on people on weekdays. And some people call that a counterfeit Christian, but you know, there's just some people who are so over the top and people just roll their eyes. They're like, oh, not this again. But I don't know. I'm kind of going all over the place. My point is mainly that space is vast and it doesn't prove or disprove the existence of a deity or anything like that. But anybody who thinks that belief in space is somehow more compatible with atheism than it is with their belief in God, well, they're missing out. I mean, you know, they're missing out on some cool shit. And there are people who look at the cosmos and that reinforces their belief in God. Maybe I'm kind of on the fence, but I certainly am not inclined to believe in the cartoonish guy with lightning bolts routine. You know, it's like that's entertaining, but yeah, you know, it doesn't really do it for me. Morality, I don't know why I'm jumping on this topic here, but I don't think morality should require religion. If your morality requires religion, then you got to question, you know, your own moral compass. You got to ask, why don't I have morality without religion? There are those really religious people that when they fall off the wagon or whatever you call it, when they lose their religion, they lose their mind. And if maybe they had a moral core or core values or moral compass that wasn't tied to their religion, that wouldn't happen to them. They wouldn't go insane, basically. So there's something to be said for that, you know? And when you bring up some of the talking points, there are some generic talking points that, you know, your liberal teacher will bring up or your random liberal friend will bring up. And some of them are true or have value, or at least seem to have value. But you bring them up to like some people who are hardcore Christians, like you bring up the Crusades, and they'll basically immediately like, you know, defend their side of the argument when it comes to the Crusades. And maybe they're right, but those people, if they were wrong, wouldn't admit it either, you know? Was it worth it to, you know, go to the Holy Land and deal with people who were perceived the enemy of the Holy Land? Maybe it was. I don't know. Maybe like there's a stability factor, but at the end of the day, I don't think people in France and Italy, I don't think it really mattered, like, to them, average person's life, you know? If anything, it was an opportunity to get a job as a knight, as a soldier, but, and to plunder. And that's what a lot of people did during the Crusades. Under the pretext of a religious crusade, they plundered. You know, it's just how that works. I gotta pick my nose real quick. Lastly, while I'm changing topics here, I do want to do one more thing. I want to find a I want to find my comments from today. I want to find my YouTube comments because there's some stuff in there today that I just want to kind of go over. Okay, well, this is not what I was looking for, but these are cool. Let's briefly talk about it. My most viewed video, as far as I'm aware, is the one from End of Evangelion, where, what's the name? I can't remember her name right now. Hebe? I don't know why I can't remember her name right now. I usually know her name too. Like, I gotta go to sleep. Because I am not remembering this character's name right now. But, you know, she's calling Dr. Katsuragi senpai, and she's saying it like in this really, like, you know, almost like, I don't know, it could be construed a number of ways. And basically, and that's funny, Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective commented on my shit weeks ago. Oh wait, I just thumbs down, damn, I meant to thumbs up it. Yeah, I remember this comment. It feels like it was longer than 2 weeks ago. Wow, that was a long video. Yeah. See, this is like a respectful comment. Like, I don't know about religion either way. Turtles are such weird looking creatures. Our creator has such an amazing imagination. And it's like, it's like, I'm fine with that. Like, I'm fine with a person who is, a theist, a Christian, whatever religion, saying something like that. There are atheists who will lose their shit seeing a comment like that. Like, they will flip their shit over it. It's like, chill out. Clearly, the atheist guys have their own religion too now. But getting back to the comments here. Yeah, so we got some comments that I didn't even know I had. Like, I guess they came up in note. I gotta check this page, I guess. I mean, I didn't even know this page existed. I was looking for my own comments and I found all of this. That's true. He's a nice fellow. Used to visit my streams and ask me who my favorite Looney Tunes character was. So wait, oh yeah, that's true. So he commented on my shout out to Brandon Looney Tunes fan 2000. That's literally what Brandon does. He goes around, asks people who's your favorite Looney Tunes character. This dude, Indiana Jones, he's a Trekkie, by the way, big Trekkie. You know what? Shit, I'll hit the heart button. Like I don't want to overdo the heart button. This guy was all like gay. I didn't really moderate it. I just downvoted the comment myself. Yes, and they are definitely a lesbian couple. No, they're not. I mean, I'll let that person's opinion stand, but there's no indication. Yeah, exactly. Did you watch the anime? I'm really reluctant to hit the heart button because if I put my name on it, that could like affect my channel's credibility or something. I'm gonna like that out of amusement. Yeah, I'm fine, dude. I thought I replied to this comment. I thought I replied to this comment. This is infuriating. I totally thought it. I totally thought. While looking. Actually, page that shows all the P comments under my. Shows comments from people. Sometimes I just feel like addressing this comment right now. Because sometimes I put a comment in a notepad file and forget to send it, or something someone interrupts me at work mid sentence. And it's true, I'll be like somewhere, maybe at work, maybe downtime, and someone will like interrupt me mid sentence and I'll forget to send it. Anyway, to answer your question, I didn't get training outside of typing, and that has been a pretty good resource over the years. But of course, it's good to have a friend or two along the way. Yeah, maybe I picked up. Consumer. Yeah, so like I just feel like And I do want to address the other comment. Between the amazing creatures and the vast cosmos, especially cosmos, I doubt about all that stuff. And oddly enough, getting into astronomy and seeing all the cool galaxies and planets and Saturn and seriously, you consider the possibility. Oh my. The turtles. Yeah, they are. Wait. And oddly endearing. Maybe it's because I can relate. They won't do the upside down, but if they can be big if they are stuck upside. Some species can't. In the desert, that is a so many varieties. It's boggling. That is boggling. There we go. Okay, I'm sorry. I just wanted to respond to comments real quick. I'm not going to go into the weeds on the comments, but you know, give that one a heart because it deserves a heart. Did I click the heart button just now? I don't want to overdo it. You know what? Yeah, that gets a heart. You know, see, I don't want to be overusing the heart and make people think like I'm weird, but you know what? I could totally do that, right? See, I don't want to like say I like vet bills, right? You don't want to put a heart next to vet bills. Oh, here's one. Yes, Neon Genesis Evangelion, an anime where cyber elders of Zion make the clone of Mick Mother, MC Mother, hug all of humanity with her mind, so everyone turns into orange juice and they become God. It's a little more complex than that, but I'm gonna take it because it's funny. Oh boy, the sun is really starting to rise right now. I mean, you know, I better get to bed before the sun, you know, before the sun finishes rising. Want to bring it up after. Silver is great. Damn. It's cool. Good. Keep stacking. And good night. Yeah, that's on my third screen, so you probably can't see that. Well, I mean, if I show my third screen, yes. So I apparently have one viewer right now, unless I'm viewing my own content, and that's what's going on. Because I mean, I'm not actually viewing my own content, but maybe the computer thinks I am. I don't know. Anyway, um, now you can see I got like a 10 gig file. Now I used to turn on the column here that shows how long the video is, but the computer then has to calculate or figure out how long every file is, and it takes like extra processing. It's pretty ridiculous. But that's like a half hour right there. So I may have to crank down my OBS settings at some point, because like a half hour is like, you know, that's a bit over the top. 9 gigs for a half hour. That means that we're actually exceeding DV format video, 18 gigs per hour. So I could probably do better. And I only cranked it up because I was having some quality issues, but after fixing my network cable, the quality issues might not be an issue anymore. So I may still use these files as my editing source, but I should re-encode them, as I plan to do with a lot of the other files. Now, most of these files are much more sane. You know, like we're talking like 1.2 gigs for like 4 minutes. Okay, that's not sane. Is that for... let's see if we can get like, find some sane numbers. 3 gigabytes. Is that 6 minutes? Something doesn't seem right there. Something seems off. Let me see here now. Okay, 1 hour. See, that makes sense. 20 gigs for 1 hour. That is a relatively sane number. But I guess it's not that bad. Okay, whatever. I'm getting into the weeds. I'm gonna have to really analyze this tomorrow, because I don't want to like you know, I don't want to like make any changes. If the quality is good, I don't want to lower the quality. If the file size, if I'm not going to save a lot of space. But every one of these files in this folder has to be put to a video encoder, basically. Not every one of them. A lot of them do. Anything I want to keep and that I'm not immediately going to edit needs to be re-encoded for archiving. And it needs to be done in a format that doesn't lose quality, but gives me better file compression. But really, I'm falling asleep. May Schwartz be with you. May Schwartz be with you. Alright, I'm gonna get out of his chat before I freaking overdo it. So anyway, anybody who has watched me just now, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. I'm sorry I did not respond to anybody in the chat until after everyone left, but I'm grateful that whoever came by. And I hope I see, you know, at least one of those two people again, because I'm familiar with one of the names. The anonymous looking hacker dude, not so much, but maybe he's cool too. I don't know. He made a Applebee's cuckold lunch special, was good. I don't know if that's referencing making fun of me or just a generic joke. I appreciate creative, you know, wisecracks. But anyway, with that being said, let's end this now. So once again, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Perhaps like another video, because maybe this video doesn't have anything that is for you, but perhaps you'll find something for you in another video. Although I think the beginning of this stream had some cool stuff. So anyway, please like and subscribe. If you have any questions, comments, or ideas, please leave a comment. And for now, we shall end transmission as soon as I point at my screen, because I want to hit that button in a time that is, you know. Yeah, so we're going to end transmission now. Almost. Just waiting for that thing. Yep, there we go. I got to really coordinate the timing on that. So, yeah, ending transmission. Thanks for watching.